Welcome to BumbleKast Live. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Oh boy, the floodgates have opened and the questions are rolling in. Exciting. So much going on.
Let's burn through the usual stuff real quick so we can get right to all those questions. Number one, big thank you to Jen and Professor Rye for helping to mitigate that madness. You are heroes through and through. We will get through as many as we can here in the next 2 hours. If you want a guaranteed answer, send us a super chat of just about any denomination. 5 cents, that's asking a bit much. But otherwise, send it our way. We'll try to get it done in the 2 hours. If for whatever reason you guys are like crazy generous, as you have been in the past, and we just can't get through them all, they will be added to the priority Q&A for the coming months. So everything else will be added to the queue. And the standard queue is monstrously monolithic.
What queue there is, because at this point it's almost impossible to keep one.
We're talking like Star Trek Q, a mischievous deity that just exists to vex Kyle.
At this point, yes. All right. Well, you guys watching on YouTube, let me know if there's any issues with the video, because my upload seems to be dropping a lot of frames. So if there's audio issues, let me know.
Yep.
And you got buffering and stuff. Buffering. All right. Well, we're going to see if we can power through that. And give me just a moment here, and I'll see if I can bring down the thing. Bring down the bit rate. But then I might just end up bringing it down so far it breaks itself. Let's try that. Okay. Alrighty. Well, we got plenty of questions, so let's go ahead and jump on into the first one here from XX Spine XXX. Originally, I assumed this was to enhance his intelligence, but if Starline was trying to kidnap Tails for data on multiple tail usage, then does that imply Kit was already a super smart kid?
That is yet to be revealed or investigated, I guess. But I would imagine that whatever intelligence Kit had, Starline did tinker with it to bring it up to Tails' level, because Tails is a special boy. You need special circumstances to run counter to the special boy.
He is very special. Kid is also very special in a deadly and dangerous way. I'm pretty sure. Here's a question from Stacy H. Why did Starline involve Rouge in kidnapping Tails? Did he just not want to do the dirty work himself?
Perhaps. That's more of an Evan Stanley question since she wrote that story.
Yeah. Here's one from My Small Corner. Just as Sonic and Tails are essentially adopted family, do you think Tails is close enough with the others, like Amy, Knuckles, and Cream, that he views them in a similar sibling-like way?
Nah. They're all very dear friends, but I think his bond with Sonic is deeper than everyone else.
And we got a question from Pedanticat. Thoughts on the fan theory of Tom's father being the gun agent that killed Maria 50 years ago? It's pretty crazy how the first movie unintentionally set that up, given the 50 years line.
I've heard that. I've also heard that his grandfather looks like me, which is disturbing. But it's a fan theory, If you like it, run with it. If not, it's fine, because it's just a theory, a fan theory.
Thanks for listening. Oh, wait, no, we're not done yet. We have many more questions. We have many, many more. Including this one from Scruffy Matt. Hi, Ian. Did you choose the music for the Sonic Origins cutscenes? I'm curious as to why the Origins outro scene includes the Sonic Mania theme, especially since Amy wasn't in that game.
No, I was not involved with music selection.
No, that was... I mean, T-Lopes was the composer on those. So I think throwing in a little nod to Mania would just be kind of a thing he would do just because. But
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe Sega wanted him to do that, or he did that and Sega was like, oh, okay, that works. Who knows? Who knows? You'll have to ask him. Here's one from Golden Dawn. Hi, Ian. Some time ago, you said that the 8-bit version of Sonic 1 has become a different adventure than its 16-bit counterpart. This also applies to other games like Colors Wii and DS, and Generations HD versus 3DS.
Case by case basis. Generally speaking, you can just worry about the console version being the canon version. Colors is a special case, but I'm not sure how much I can talk about. So suffice to say, don't worry too much about it right now. If and when it's made public, it will be made public, and then you can worry about it.
All right, here's one from Michael B. Because of their implants, would Surgeon Kit be susceptible to the Deadly Six?
I feel like we touched on this recently.
We have, yeah.
I don't remember if I said yay or nay. I think it was a matter of they could probably mess with Surgeon Kit, but they wouldn't be able to like fully control. I think that's what I said.
I think something along those lines, yeah.
Of course, I'm free to make up whatever I want right now. It won't matter till we actually see it in a book, and then we'll have to make up our minds for surezies. But I may not even be writing at that point, so who knows?
You may not be writing anything anymore. You may have finally be gone, just like some people want you to be.
Yes, well, that pterodactyl hasn't arrived to pluck me off the earth yet.
Nope, not yet. No matter how much some people wish they would. But
hey, if it gets pterodactyls back, it'll be worth it. I will gladly sacrifice myself to the BumbleDactyl just to get these things back in the air.
Maybe not. Maybe don't do that.
For reference, BumbleDactyl is still spelled with a P. I'm not going to say where though.
Where is the P? I think it's in the toilet. Here's a question from Levi C. When does Dr. Starline's origin story happen? I assume he would have been inspired by Dr. Eggman after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I'm not sure.
It happens before his appearance in the comic. And that's all I'm going to nail down.
All right. Well, I think we've built up a few super chats, so let's go ahead and jump over to those for a little bit. And we're going to start off with this one from Dove. Hey guys, let's say Disney made a princess fighting game in the style of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Who would your three princess team be, and what are their styles? This sounds awesome. I want this. Why don't they do this?
Well, Mulan first and foremost, because she has a clear history of kicking butt.
I mean, kinda, yeah. It's like she was my first pick too. I don't know. I'm looking at the list now. Do not actually princesses, but honorary princesses and former Disney princesses count? I don't know. Mulan's the obvious one. Jasmine.
Rapunzel's got the hair thing going on. That's basically a mutant power.
Merida from Brave is an archer, so she'd be good for ranged attacks. You got Elsa, who has literal ice powers.
Oh, geez, yeah, she's kind of broken.
I mean, we're going way over our 3-character limit at this point. Rapunzel's got prehensile hair. She could use it like Milia in Guilty Gear.
No, and if we're casting a wide enough, princess under the Disney ownership, Leia has the Force and a lightsaber at some point.
Yes. As long as it's
So,
as long as it's yellow instead of whatever it is in the official canon now. Dumb. Snow White can sing so high it makes heads explode. Oh wait, that was only in Shrek. Never mind. That's not canon. Jasmine has Raja. I mean, yeah, I think all these ladies could kick some ass. It would be great. I mean, even Tinkerbell. She's got magic.
Wait, does she count?
She is a former Disney princess, apparently, along with Esmeralda.
Nah, they aren't royalty. Come on now.
So? You don't have to be royalty to be a princess, Ian.
Yes, you do.
No.
It's a royal title.
To be a Disney princess, though? Elsa's not a princess. She's a queen, thank you very much.
She was princess for a little bit.
I think we've got too far into this one. I think it's time to move on. We didn't make up a 3-person team for each of us, though. But I mean, there's so many good choices. How could we just choose 3? I guess I don't know. You called Mulan first, so I guess you get to have Mulan, unless I can get a color swap version of her. Palette swap version.
I'll go with the traditional skin. You can have the soldier skin.
Okay, sure. That'll work.
Mine comes with the default swords play, but you've got the God, what's his name? Mushu special.
Yeah. All right. Then I'll go with Jasmine and Rapunzel, I suppose. That's my 3.
I'll take Rapunzel. You can pick whether you get the one that comes with the default frying pan or with the chameleon special.
And then I'll let you have Elsa, I suppose. So you could be broken.
Where's the fun in that? I was going to go with Merida.
Oh, Merida? Okay, yeah, she'd be fun too. Yeah. All right.
Gonna make sure to hold out and roll for the 5-star that comes with the bear special.
Oh, this is suddenly a gacha game now. All right. A gacha fighting game. I'm surprised that isn't more common. All right, we got a super chat from Supersonic Fan. Rough and Double find a Razor Jin's lamp, and he has to grant them 3 wishes. What do they wish for? I think they just argue over who gets the wishes, don't they? I wish to get all the wishes.
Rough wishes for unlimited wishes. Tumble wishes for more wishes than Rough had. They fight over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, they managed to rub the lamp while screaming, well, I wish nobody got no wishes.
Mm-hmm. They wouldn't get any wishes, ultimately, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Good. I like it. Here's one from Stephen A. Which would you argue is more influential to you? Star Trek, Star Wars, or Dancing with the Stars?
Knee-jerk reaction, I want to say Star Wars, because I know we watched the movies religiously for years. But
I watched a lot of Next Generation too, though, and Voyager.
Yeah, like Next Generation, and especially Deep Space Nine, for influence on how I think about story structure and characterization. And Voyager was about when I first started to, be able to consume my media and be critical of it. So hard to say which one is more influential. Like, is it Star Wars just because so many of the concepts are baked in, or because Star Trek had the longer influence on a more technical level? I don't know. That's a good moment of self-reflection.
Why not both? Why not all three? Come on, Ian. What
Well,
leaving
I
Dan?
never actually watched Dancing with the Stars, so
Oh, yeah, me neither. Not
like I think
influent.
I
Not,
looked up a clip because somebody said Jaleel White was on there once, and I was like, really? I'll watch that one. But beyond that, no, I don't think I've seen it.
oh, darn. Oh, well. They've had some interesting people on that show. Uh, Probably people who shouldn't be on any show on there, but yeah, no, whatever. Here's a question from Pedanticat, a super chat. How would Kit versus Katara from Avatar play out?
Katara would be put on her back foot briefly, but she has a greater mastery and more refined skill set, so she would eventually be able to overwhelm and incapacitate Kit.
Plus, she's the hero. She has plot armor, so.
I guess. I mean, once she figured out that he can only control what he has access to, and she is just a universal waterbender, she would force the tank empty and he would be powerless.
Yeah. Here's a super chat from Omega Watt. In the encyclopedia, the description for Sir Fuzzy Logic reads 7. 7 Chaos Emeralds and Dr. Robotnik will become a god. Was that a friggin' Undertale reference, you absolute legend?
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at these goofy designs, and this one right here is like, hey, that kind of looks like Udine. There's no way they'd let me get away with this reference, will they? Will they?
They didn't even notice.
I flagged it on purpose. I wanted to make
Did
sure
you?
that it was okay. I didn't want us to get in legal trouble.
I don't think
Not that
that.
I think Toby Fox would unleash the lawyers on us, but out of respect for him and general business sense, I'm like, is this too far? They're like, I think it's okay, and so it was.
I mean, just because you happen to put words in a similar order in a similar way to someone else doesn't mean they can necessarily unleash the copyright ninjas on you, right?
Depends on who you ask, doesn't it?
I mean, geez, that's ridiculous. Oh well. Thank you, Toby Fox, for being not litigious.
If he even knows about it, I'm assuming he's kind of amused at most.
Mm-hmm. Here's a super chat question from Solaris Stain. How would a crossover between SWAT Cats and IDW Sonic go?
Oh, geez. God, it's been so long since I've seen that show. Tails would be geeking out with the main guys over the tech, obviously. But shoot, it's been so long since I've seen the SWAT Cats premise. I know it's SWAT Cats, but I always default to SWAT Cats, and
SWAT Cats
it's a
because
personal problem, okay?
SWAT Cats because it's a nice, consistent sort of rhyme thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wrong. I know.
It's like
I don't
saying
know. Maybe the
it's like saying Mr. Sinister.
maybe the egg fleet invades their dimension, and so they take off, and it's just like one extended dogfight as they shoot everything down. And they're really impressed that the tornado not only keeps up, but is pulling off the same stunts.
Well, yeah, of course it is. It's got Tails at the wheel. He knows what he's doing. Tails at the controls. Yeah. There's no wheel in the tornado. Maybe there is, actually. I don't know.
And Sonic jumps over and rides on their wing for a little bit. He's jumping off to bop badniks.
Yep.
Keep some fire off them.
Just bouncing off
Basically, you need like a 5 to 10 minute excuse plot to set things up, and then the rest is you pour your budget into the action sequence.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point. What else do you do? Have an actual story? Psh, whatever. Who needs that? All right, let's jump back over to some standard questions from the chat for a little while. Get into this one here from Raisebox Animations. Hey, Ian and Kyle, I would like to ask if Knuckles' bat rival were to appear in Sonic Movie 3, how would their dynamic go, and would that mean that Sega would show their dynamic more often in-game?
I honestly don't know. The movies are plotting their own course, and for me, being an outsider for once, it's kind of fun to not know what's happening and see where it goes. They've kind of established the idea of the animal cast has, to some degree, easy access to multiverse travel. So maybe that's Rouge's deal as she hops around from place to place, stealing stuff and moving on to the next dimension, and comes to Earth for reasons. Maybe she wants the Master Emerald for the fact that it's a big glittery thing. It doesn't really have much power or purpose anymore. Um, as for how it influenced the games, I would be inclined to say it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But folks have been going gaga over the 1-to-1 in Frontiers where Sonic powers up as he did in the movie. And it's not just, oh, that's a similar parallel. It's shot for shot. It is definitely homage. So I don't know. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. And we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. Ian Flynn, 2022.
1982 to 2022.
Yeah, that implies you're dead. Hey, don't do that. Don't do this.
I foresaw the pterodactyl.
Don't do this to me, Ian. Don't do this to me. All right, here's a question from the Saxon. All right, I was kind of hesitant to ask this, but oh well. Ian, as the creator of Surge, yes, you are. What was your initial reaction to Surgic, Sonic and Surge? I'm assuming the ship.
I assume it's a foregone conclusion.
I was going to say,
If a character is
surprised?
created, no, if a character is created, I'm assuming that they're going to be shipped with someone, and whether I like it or not, or it makes sense or not. Tangle was introduced, and it's like, okay, she's going to be shipped with Sonic first thing, and she's amazed by Blaze's appearance, so they're going to ship her with Blaze as well. And then Whisper appears, so they're going to ship her with Sonic, and Silver's also in this issue, so they're going to ship her with him, and probably all the Wisps are going to be shipped with each other. And at this point, shipping within the Sonic fandom is Mad Libs. You take two characters and you put the word ship between them. That's it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you should always assume any new character is going to be shipped with Sonic right off the bat. I mean,
yeah,
that is a foregone conclusion. So whatever,
and
beyond that, it could go any way, but almost assuredly Sonic will be the top. Maybe Starline. Maybe Starline was. Maybe Starline and Eggman was with Eggman first, but I'm sure shipping him with Sonic was not long after. So,
and as what's the word? Sorry, guys, I am like mud for brains today. As much as I am kind of meh about it, if you like it, rock on. If that floats your boat, sail off to the horizon, man. I am not gonna knock your ship. It makes no sense from my position, but who cares? If that's your fan thing, run with it.
In canon, it's a little hard to swallow, but I think you could, if you're creative enough outside of canon, if you're just doing your own head canon thing, I think you could make it work. So why not?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Write your fanfic, draw your fan art, share it with your friends, delight in it, and say, ignore the fuzzy fuddy duddy. I like it. And go run with it. You do you.
Yep. Have fun. Don't let us stop you. Especially Ian. Don't let Ian stop you at all. Come on.
And kind of in that vein, if you see a ship, you're like, no,
Mm,
what? Why? Move on. Let them have their fun. Do you and let them do them.
yep. Yep. Just 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 stop. Just stop arguing about it. Please. I know it'll never end. But I do know what will end this show, but not yet because we still have a lot of questions. So let's go ahead and keep on moving with one from Raphael C. Time stones control time. Warp topaz, space. Chaos rings, power. Phantom ruby, reality. The chaos emeralds, all of it. Is there a pattern there?
If there is, I'm not aware of it.
Time, space, power, reality. What's missing?
Soul?
That's what the soul
Oh my
emeralds are
god,
for.
the soul emeralds!
Uh-huh, we found them. Oh no. Oh crap. YouTube, my connection is being garbagey. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right, here's a question from Rez. Kid Goku can destroy a solar system and is far faster than light speed. Just want to tell you.
Don't remember that from Dragon Ball, but okay.
All right. If you say so. Here's a question from S Shining. What if ultra hypersonic? Like ultra, how does it ultra? Was there an ultrasonic? I'm guessing, was that Archie?
Yeah, in the Archie continuity.
Okay, yeah.
That was with a sufficient number of rings, I think. So if we're going with, you know, 7 super emeralds game style and then a bajillion rings Archie style, so he's God at that point.
Yeah, why not? Here's a question from Delazox. Say if someone were to get it personal and threaten Tails' safety to Sonic.
Sonic's gonna stomp him.
How would Sonic deal with that? Or nowadays, how would Sonic deal with that? Beat them senseless, try to stop them with a speech, just run in with no plan?
Well, I mean, if like let's say Dr. Starline's got the button in hand and once I press this button, Tails is going to explode into confetti. He's not going to finish the word confetti before Sonic has not only like dislocated his arm, but stomped the button into a million pieces and then kicked him for good measure. And then he's going to walk away. Let that be a lesson. Don't do that again. Stupid. Hey, Tails, you want to get a chili dog? And then if Starline were to pick himself up and put himself together, go, maybe I'll try it a different way. He's the idiot.
Well, I mean, Starline is an idiot, so yes. Here's a question from Boney Cheese. Will we ever see dinosaur Mobians? And if so, will they be average size or bigger than the rest of the cast, like Big or Vector?
I would like to see him, but that's just because I like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Size wise,
I mean,
I don't know.
not all dinosaurs were ginormous, so,
No.
could have.
I mean, you run into some trouble with like anything that's approaching a sauropod because Sonic characters don't have necks. And sauropods are like 50% neck.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would reconcile that.
No necks allowed. It's like how you can't have a horse Mobian anymore.
Yeah.
No more necks.
Just imagine a giraffe, but like no neck. That'd just be weird. Weird.
That doesn't make sense. I'm confused.
Weird.
I'm scared. I don't like that visual. Let's move on. Here's one from Star Sprite. What do you think of power scalers?
As in folks who try to actually keep track of power levels in fandom?
I guess. And then argue about power levels between characters.
It's fun.
It is fun, yeah.
I mean, I remember on a class trip years ago with my friends, chilling out on the boat and, debating on which would win in a fight, the Republic fleet or the Federation fleet, and debating over whether Star Destroyer's turbo lasers could handle the Enterprise's shields or not. It's the same thing. You're arguing power levels of fantasy stuff, and it's fun. Just don't take it too seriously. Like, don't lose friends over it. Don't pop a blood vessel over it. Don't get mad if the canon doesn't perfectly sync up, or someone's interpretation is wildly different from yours. It's fun. It's just another aspect of fandom.
Well, if there's an actual crossover and the power levels are way off from what you said, what you thought they should be, then don't freak out
Yeah, I
too
mean,
hard.
I understand that, but if a crossover is done in the right way, then the fans come away from it happy. Like, their aspect is presented respectfully and in a fun way.
Right.
If it like if Sonic shows up with the Power Rangers and spends the entire crossover having to be rescued and barely surviving, power levels be damned, you're just going to be, oh, my favorite thing was played for a chump.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would suck. Let's not have a Power Rangers Sonic crossover like that, please. We can have another Power Rangers Sonic crossover, but not one like that. And we got a question from Conga. Would Serge's favorite song be Bad Reputation by Joan Jett? Would it also be Kit's favorite song?
If it is hers, then it is by default. Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's a little overplayed.
It's a character trait.
But then again, well, I mean, her having her favorite song as that is a bit overplayed.
Oh.
You got like a punky,
I don't know it off the top of my head.
a punky female character, liking Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. Yeah, that's just kind of a cliche at this point, but that's okay. Cliches aren't all bad.
I throw out for your consideration I'm the Bad Guy by Billie Eilish.
I mean, that would be fun. All right, here we go. We're going to jump back over to some of these super chats for a bit. Here's this one from Joe M. Thank you. Where do you think the line is drawn where a villain has gone so far that redemption is impossible? Given your thoughts on Vader, I'm curious what you think of the diamonds from Steven Universe.
The diamonds are a bit tricky because I think it kind of comes down to whether or not they took over worlds with other sentient life. Now, I'm not super deep into my Steven Universe lore. Maybe there's something correcting me on this, but I feel like rose quartzes or pink diamond, same thing. Spoilers. Show's over. I feel like her fascination with Earth was specifically because it was unlike any other world they had come across. That humanity as a sapient race, much like the gems, was unconventional. That was part of what was so special about the world and what endeared it to her. And that the other worlds that they had conquered up to that point were, if they had life, it was all non-sapient, non-sentient, just animal life. It's a tragedy that they were harvested, to be sure, and there was definitely loss of life, but the loss of fauna versus fully realized individuals, I feel like, is a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
So if we agree on the premise that the diamonds didn't conquer any world with individuals on it, that all the worlds that they conquered up to this point were either barren or very early in the life cycles, that's still greedy and destructive, but it's forgivable. There is a room for them to change and reverse course so that they're cultivating, so that they are opening up their society for greater acceptance. And sure, that's fine.
Mm.
If there's evidence in there that they did wipe out entire civilizations, To me, that's a bridge a bit too far. Now, they are, as far as we can tell, immortal beings. So one could argue that now that they have shifted course, there is an eternity where they can work towards not doing bad and doing good, but there is always going to be that mark against them for having gone too far. It's not that you are forgiven, it's that you are allowed to attempt to balance the scales for the rest of eternity. There is no payoff. There is no balancing that ledger. It's just that has been done. You are never forgiven. You are always working to do better.
All right, here's a question from Shinny Yu, a super chat. Thank you. So, if Kit and Surge have super healing / regen from the inert metal virus, just how strong is said healing?
They could probably bounce back from a whole lot. The implication from the training montage is that they've been through stuff that Sonic and Tails, had they fallen victim to, wouldn't be around anymore. I don't want to get too gruesome in the rationalization because I don't feel like that's appropriate to Sonic, but my thinking of it is kind of like their video game characters. How do you survive fall damage and being smushed by rocks and, getting stabbed by giant hydraulic spikes without any kind of realistic damage? And that kind of explanation for the cartoon logic in their case. I worded that horribly.
I think I understand, though, what you mean. I'm just reminded of that time Wolverine apparently regenerated from, like, a cell or something. Like, he just got absolutely obliterated, but managed to regenerate from what was left of himself, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
That's a little gross. Ooh.
And his brain just happened to reform with the exact same folding patterns, and the neurons just happened to regenerate with the exact same pathways that they had burned before to retain all the memories and emotions and personality. No.
Well, I mean, Ian, this is comic book.
I know it's comic books.
I know. It's comic book logic, man. This stuff happens sometimes.
There's a certain threshold. There's a stress test you can do with some of the logic, and once you stretch it far enough, I feel like it's untenable. But
yeah, something like that. All right, here's a super chat question from Buttered Noodles. What would you have done to further develop Metal Scourge as a concept and a character?
not. He wasn't meant to be. He was literally Metal Sonic, but with a Scourge design.
But green?
Yeah, he was there for the cool factor, and that was about it.
Here's a question from Supersonic Fan. What would happen if Zamam went to Medburger?
You just hear the sound of approaching thunder as he lumbers up to the counter.
I don't think there would be a Medburger left.
Dave is standing at the register as the shadow just slowly inches its way over. Slow pan up as he looks up at this gelatinous thing. I want everything. Is that going to be cash or credit? Completely unfazed, unflappable. He's just, we run out of stock. If you like, you can eat the trash bin. Tastes about the same.
For here to go.
I'm still hungry. I haven't washed the floors this week. You can try looking that up. Sweet, he's mopping the floor for me.
Oh, now he's eating the floor. Oops. And now he's eating the whole restaurant. Whoops. Well, it's over. All right, here's a question from Jeffrey St. John. Super chat, thank you. Want to share my thoughts for Worcester Warriors, a rugby club that might no longer exist. Have you two felt sad about any media that ended too soon?
Firefly,
Yeah.
Gargoyles,
Yeah. Sad
Motor
AM.
City, Sad AM.
Yep.
Mm,
Trying to think. Isn't Mega Man the comics?
well,
Mega Man the games? Mega Man
more or
X the
less.
games?
Like Zero's the only one that got an actual conclusion.
I know.
I think Legends is suffering the most, though.
Yes. I'm sorry, Legends fans. It's not easy to be you. Man. There's quite a bit, but then again, at the same time, sometimes I'm grateful that it ended because it's like, okay, you ended on a high note. That's good.
Yeah.
You didn't drag on too long. But yeah, Firefly is a big one, obviously. Sad AM, stuff like that. So. All right, we got one from Alex120. Are you familiar with Sonic's parody, Zodic, from the game Illbleed? What would your own premise for a cheesy Sonic-centered horror film be like?
Is that the one with like the bat wings on his head? Or am I thinking of something
Uh,
else?
it might be. I know Illbleed is a Dreamcast game. Yeah, that's him. He's got like fangs and gross
Yeah,
teeth,
like
and he's got bat wings, and he looks gross. It's Zodic.
I'm.
It's Zodic the Hellhog is his full name.
Oh Lord. Only in passing. Like I knew enough to go. That sounds vaguely familiar. Is that the thing? But I don't know more beyond that.
It's a nightmare, so maybe don't look it up if you are not into frightening things. But you know,
Eh.
Sonic.exe before Sonic.exe, maybe something like that.
Sorry, was there a second half to that one?
Yes, the question was, what would your own premise for a cheesy Sonic-centered horror film be like?
Uh, Emphasis on the cheese. I'd want something that's actually fun and funny rather than actually spooky and unsettling. Because I don't like spooky and unsettling. It's not my jam. So, maybe the crew gets together to put together their own Halloween movie and there's actual ghosts in the house. King Boom Boo shows up to cause chicanery. Or the gang goes to investigate something and turns out the mine is haunted, or there's some kind of presence in their mystic cave esque or Sandopolis style. Something for a fun adventure that involves the supernatural rather than actual disturbing things.
Or they go to Pumpkin Hill.
Yeah.
And at some point, Knuckles says, "You ready?"
Pumpkin Hill is about my speed of spoopy.
Yes. All right, we got a super chat from Testing. Thank you. Since you said you prioritize plot over character writing, what does to stop another situation like Metal Virus Shadow from happening if you get another inconvenient editorial notice that derails your plans?
Just a case by case basis. It's kind of hard to say without being presented with the particular issue. In Shadow's case, the crux of it was that Shadow needed to be infected because that was the escalation point. It was someone of his power and his influence falling prey to the virus. And we probably could have done that from multiple avenues. If it's anything else, if it was plot central, like if it was the crux of the advancement, that would require a rewrite or a restructuring. And typically we don't get to that stage without approvals. Like the core premise has to be approved first before we move to script. Um, so that should generally take care of such issues. If it's something that is more of a nuancy thing, a characterization that gets flagged at the script stage rather than um, the premise, then it's a matter of stepping back and saying, okay, what's a better avenue to accomplish the same goal? Because we can't change the story once it's approved. Once that's locked, we can't do heavy revisions because otherwise we're sneaking unapproved material past the licensor, and that's a big no-no. So, like in Shadow's case, it was locked in and approved that he was going to be infected. We couldn't change that without going through approvals all over again, and there's just no way you can do that with the timetable. So, whatever this hypothetical scenario would be, this event would be locked in, so we would just have to look at how to approach it and hopefully have the time to get approvals done if it was too significant of a change.
Hmm. All right, here's a super chat question from OzJam H. Certain series usually go on for a while, with some try to grow up with their audiences, either through changing the tone, aging up the characters, or both. What are some series you think accomplish this sort of method? Can you think of any? Or you
I'm
there?
trying.
It's a very like what series have gone on long enough to truly grow up like that? Not many. Sonic has gone on long enough to do that, but it hasn't done that.
Right.
And trying to think what else. Simpsons? Not really.
No. If anything, its stagnation has become legendary.
Yeah. Adventure Time is being cited as an example. Did that go on that long?
Mm, it went on for a while, but I don't know if it went on long enough for that to be the issue or if it became less of a surrealist series and began to actually follow up on its plot points. And once it reached the end, that was the end of the story. It's not so much a growing up with a series as it has reached its finale.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's something that I remember watching and enjoying a lot, and it did that, but I'm drawing a blank.
Rugrats is being cited as an example, but I don't know if that's an actual.
Yeah.
It went
Yeah,
on for a
no, because
while. Yeah,
it went on for a while, and then the kids grew up. Like, they went from toddlers to teens.
right.
They did a time skip.
Mm-hmm. So they actually grew faster than the audience originally, probably, but
Mm.
a little bit, just enough.
I mean, the show went on long enough that by the time that they jumped into the next generation, production time taken into account.
Let's see. Harry Potter is also being given it as an example, and I
Yeah, but that's
suppose
kind of baked into the series. That's telling of Harry's life.
right. Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of the point, isn't it? The Beavis and Butthead new Beavis and Butthead series. They're old now. Sometimes.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes, and they watch TikTok and YouTube. Another great offering from the fine folks at MTV. God, it's so funny. It is. It is amazing. The bits of them just making fun of what's on TV are better than ever at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I something like that, sure. There aren't many of those. People are talking about Naruto. They're talking about Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, I guess.
Maybe, but I feel like
Digimon.
I feel like Dragon Ball was more of the action elements were getting more attention, so they just shifted gears from the gag manga to a more action-oriented one. I don't know if that's really growing up with the audience in mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, Ozjam, if we did not adequately answer your question, but I mean, I guess we gave some examples of decent ones, but nah. We got a super chat from Pedanticat. Who'd win in a fight, Honey versus Tangle?
Ooh.
Well, I think they'd fight for a while and be like, "You want to go ride bikes? Yeah, let's go ride bikes."
I honestly don't know. I feel like Honey might be the more tactical fighter, but Tangle absolutely has the reach. So it's kind of a skill versus dexterity argument. I don't know. I think that could go either way.
I don't know. Here's a question from Chaos Sonic 1. Any luck on incorporating sticks into modern Sonic?
No, as a matter of fact, hit another dead end recently, frustratingly. But you know, if anything, that just kind of makes me dig my heels in harder. It's like there's no really good reason. Ergo, we will find a better reason to finally get it approved.
All right, folks. Well, we are at over 100 questions at just over an hour left in the standard queue. So we're going to go ahead and close down questions for tonight. But thank you for submitting them. Thank you for sending them in. Very much appreciated. We are still accepting super chats. So if you want to keep sending those in, go ahead and do so. So with that, that'll be it for the standard questions, though. We'll try and work through as many of those, and then we'll try and get through some more of them in a later episode. So thank you all for watching and hanging out tonight. And we're going to keep on going with some of the more super chat questions, starting with this one from Mighty Ray. Silly question, but will the hermit crabs from Sonic Heroes show up in IDW?
Maybe.
Sure, why not?
Perhaps.
They should. They should. All right, and we got another super chat from Chaos Sonic 1 here. Does Sega know about the backlash at how Shadow is portrayed? P.S. I don't blame you for the mess that is Shadow's character.
Again, I don't want to speak for the entire company, but I do know there are folks that are aware of it.
And we got another super chat from Chaos Sonic 1. All right, dude. Thank you. Have you played Sonic Speed Simulator, the Roblox game that is licensed by Sega?
Not yet, no. I want to. It is on my to-do list, but I just have not done it yet.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the chance to either. But I hear they're bringing back some real weird stuff that's like not been referenced or brought up in a long time. So,
well, they're also making unique character Chow. Like there's now Rouge Chow and a Jet Chow, and I want it. God, I want it.
Yeah. We got a super chat here from J Chance. How would Vanilla's day be if she had to watch Styx and Big?
Big would be fine.
I mean, he doesn't need any
say,
babysitting.
they're
Unless Froggy takes off, though. What?
Well, there there is that. Styx is, being a very nice guest and tearing the house apart looking for bugs. Never can tell when the government's going to be listening in on you.
Oh, those kind of bugs.
Yeah. Well, the other kind too. She's hungry.
Oh, okay.
And Vanilla's just so happy that she's able to focus on this little energetic rapscallion, while Big is contentedly fishing, outside.
Uh-huh.
And just about the time that she manages to get Sticks wrangled and, contained, where did Big go? And then just in the background, Froggy!
Oh no. Oh no. Poor Vanilla. She can't catch a break. All right. Some people are saying the live stream is freezing. Yeah, sorry about that. It is dropping out on my end, dropping in and out. Basically, it's just kind of dropping frames, and there's not really much I can do about it right now, unfortunately. So, hang tight, guys, and hopefully it should clear up. But we're gonna switch over to the standard questions for a bit, starting with this one from Clara V. Bulma created Mecha Goku in Dragon Ball Fusion, who turned yellow in Super Saiyan. Mecha Sonic turns yellow in Super. Coincidence?
Maybe. I mean, at this point, if Dragon Ball is referencing Sonic, which was referencing Dragon Ball,
Uh,
it's become an Ouroboros of homages.
we're going full circle at this point. Here's a question from Plug Boy. Would the Chow and the Cocos get along?
Oh, sure.
And we got a question from Necromage. If Starline didn't try to escape with the Warp Topaz during the end of the Metal Virus Saga, would Eggman still have fired him?
Like, if they had argued over the usage of it and Starline just said, fine, do what you want.
Yep.
You take the Warp Pads. I'm just going to sit over here and pout.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was totally what he sounded like that back then, right? We're not retroactively flanderizing a character or anything. Yeah, it would have, events would have played out the same. Starline would probably have been infected as Zavok threw minions onto the island. His last conscious words being, "I told you so," and then everything gets fixed. And I feel like there would still be the disillusionment on his part because he got infected. He would have fallen. He would have suffered that horror. And it wasn't because Eggman did anything particularly right. It was because Sonic saved the day, ultimately. So I think we would have seen a very similar character arc. It's just Starline would have been working closer or within Eggman's shadow rather than on the fringe.
We got a question from Steady Vibes. What would it be like if Surge and Tails were stuck together for a day and Sonic was stuck with Kit?
This kind of sort of iffy-ish runs parallel with what's going on in the book right now. So I'm going to abstain from that one. It's not an exact one-to-one, but it's close enough that I feel like I would possibly be stealing Evan's thunder. So ask me later.
Yes, you shook the magic 8-ball and it said, ask again later. Here's a question from Stephen A. Is it true that you were on the roof stealing my weather vane?
Why, are you a cop?
You can't prove anything.
I'm Pixar, it didn't happen. You can't prove nothing. I don't have a problem. You got a problem. So what if I like weather vanes? It's nobody's business. Kyle, what's the next question?
This one comes from ____. Are all Tails Tube episodes canon? If so, Tails just exposed Angel Island and the Master Emerald to harm by telling the public. Also, if they are canon, does Tails know the mystery girl? I'm assuming the one in the background of the first episode.
You can talk. Keep in mind, Angel Island fell off the coast of Station Square.
They kind of know about it.
It's just a train ride away. I'm pretty sure people saw the continent hit, and I want to say there was some kind of NPC dialogue somewhere talking about the wave from it,
Yeah,
unless I'm making that up.
I think so.
Angel Island is known. So, and it's not like Tails said, by the way, here's the pattern of how it flies through the air. This is the altitude. Here's the hours that Knuckles is asleep. Here's the combination lock on the Master Emerald. All he said was that, it's there. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. As for canon, it's canon enough.
Sure, why not? I'm really sorry. If you can hear this, my ISP is throttling my upload speed hard, apparently. They need to calm down. I wish they would stop. Please. Please, just let me stream. Like, how could you do this to me?
Would it help with a reboot?
YouTube and everything. No, a reboot would not help this. Ian,
Okay.
this is my life now. So,
Well, here's a quick technical question.
Yep.
On the playback, is the playback going to have all the stuttering?
The playback should be okay.
Okay, so if you're running into hiccups, come back next Monday and get the full thing.
Yeah. We will release this on Monday, so be sure to tune in for that. But yeah, sorry if you're having issues listening to it. I'm sorry. It's beyond my control. I've tried so much. Tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. But what does matter is these questions, so we're going to keep trying to answer them. With this one from Xander C. I'm recently reading Archie comics, and I was wondering what your favorite arc to write for was.
Oh, goodness. There were a lot. The initial... The issue with Shadow and Omega and Gamma is one of my favorites. That one came together exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
Shadowfall was a fun arc. Darkest Storm, it's dense. It is not new reader friendly. It's arguably not old reader friendly either, considering how much you get through. But that was just a treasure trove of wrapping up plot lines. So that was kind of cathartic and fun. Scourge Lockdown was a good one, actually giving some characterization to the fearsome foursome after how many years. Journey, the entire Iron Dominion arc, even though its general reception seems to be, it's all right. Like nobody hates it. Very few people love it. It's just kind of, that was a solid enough story. It was fine. Considering that the entire thing was built off of a joke premise that I submitted purposefully to get rejected. And we turned it into a pretty decent story arc. So there's some pride in that. Just about everything, I think, has some redeeming quality to it, and something that I can point to and say, yeah, that was good. Oh, Worlds Collide.
I mean Worlds Collide's the obvious one. Yeah.
That's the crown jewel, but
I mean, and for me, it's also Champions is also another one. Yes.
Yep.
Champions is absolutely outstanding. So, but Worlds
part
Collide
of it's
is
kind of hard
brilliant.
to remember it all because I wrote a whole freaking.
And then there's the ones you didn't write, like Spark of Life, which I do believe
that's a good one.
I do believe won our poll many, many years ago for best Sonic Universe arc ever.
Hey.
And it truly is. It's a great one. So many good stories on that book. Jeez, really missing out by not having them anymore. I mean, I guess we got the mini series, but those aren't consistent enough. We need more. We need a monthly. Oh well. We do have a question from Coffee. Sonic and Team Fortress 2 crossover. How does it go? What type of team ups do we see? There's an unbound amount of potential with a Pyro and Omega team up. It's a good suggestion. It's a good one.
You, masked mercenary, what is your purpose? Horror, horror, horror! I concur. Let us burn them all.
Burn.
I almost said it would be hard to sync them up because the level of violent humor in TF2 just cannot be matched by Sonic. But the short that they put out, God, how long ago now, was pretty much bloodless. So that proves you can do a PG rated TF2.
Sure.
And an E10 plus Sonic.
We're gonna have Heavy and Knuckles. Is that gonna be the big? Is that gonna be one other than team ups?
That would be. No, I see more Knuckles and Medic because there's the robots coming. There you go. The Manco robots get taken over by Eggman. There's your premise.
Yeah. Okay.
You got Knuckles, put up his dukes, and he's just, standing there in the boxer pose. Get behind me, Doctor. And just starts plowing through, tearing through robots.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. NG and Tails getting along.
Oh, of course. I mean, they're both engineers.
Well, look at there. I was talking about a superfluous behind, and you made it work. Way to go, little fella.
I love the engineer. Who's the spy hanging out with?
Spy doesn't really want to work with any of these strange cartoon animals there. He works with enough strange individuals as it is. But he can appreciate Espio's dedication to the craft of turning invisible and striking when necessary.
How would he?
You got Sonic and the Scout trying to out showboat each other. That's a given.
Yeah. How would Spy deal with Rouge?
I think they'd get along. They have the same kind of general outsider view.
Yeah.
Of each other. They have an appreciation for the finer things in life.
Uh-huh.
In his line of work, he doesn't really need any of the baubles or precious gems they happen to come across. So if she doesn't mind, she can work off of those. And no, she's perfectly fine with that. Thank you.
She's very pleased with this arrangement. Very good, very good. There's possibilities there. It would be fun.
Yep. But I don't want to spend time theory crafting every single member. So let's keep rolling.
All right, let's move on. And let's get back to some paid questions from the Super Chat folks. We're going to go ahead and get into this one here from Backyard TARDIS, which sounds very entertaining. You avoid fan-made content for Sonic, but are there any franchises that you avoid in the hope that you could eventually work on them?
No, because Mega Man I still kind of shy away from because hope against hope.
Just in case.
Maybe someone there is like a less than 1% chance that someone's going to pick up the Archie run and just say, "Here, Ian, pick up Mega Man 4 and keep running." That will most likely never happen. But just in case, I kind of shy away from that a little bit. But otherwise, no. Because if the list of things that I want to work on one day is a mile long, and if I denied myself fan content from all of that, I would have no joy in my life.
I mean, you didn't deny yourself fan content from Sonic before you became a Sonic fan, right? Or Sonic writer, right? Officially.
Well, right. No, I was
Right.
knee deep in the fandom.
I know. Yeah, I know. You were up to your shoulders in Sonic. Gross. All right, we got a super chat from Stephen A. Thank you everybody for submitting super chats. What's your favorite parody name, and why is it Dr. Henry Killinger and his magic murder bag? Or is it Poochie?
I love everything about Henry Killinger and his magic murder bag. The design, the voice work, just I don't know, something about it just cracks me up super bad. It's one of those like who's going to think of a super villain parody of Henry Kissinger to begin with? And then just the very simple change to Killinger and his magic murder bag. It's God, I don't know. It's the punchline that gets me every time.
It's a good one.
There was also this really stupid show called Thumb Wars, which was a spoof on Star Wars, but it was all thumbs with superimposed mouths and eyes.
I might vaguely remember this.
And the one gag that still cracks me up is the Obi-Wan character comes up and says, "I'm Ooby-Doo Skadooby. I have the silliest name in the universe." And I don't know, that Ooby-Doo Skadooby. I'm a simple man of simple pleasures.
Ooby-Doo Skadooby.
You mean old Ben Skadooby?
So dumb.
That and they had Jabba was just somebody's face upside down with googly eyes on the chin.
I mean, yeah, that's accurate, I suppose. Oh man, that's funny. All right, here's a super chat from Lord Van Oscaro. There's a short fan comic where Tails meets Windblade. It makes me wonder, if you got the chance to write a Transformers/Sonic crossover, which characters would you pair up?
I would have to do a deep dive into Transformers because my memory of G1 is light at best. When we did the My Little Pony crossover, yes, there was a My Little Pony Transformers crossover. If you missed it, I have comics from both the first crossover and the sequel crossover over the Bomba Comic Shop. So head on over. They were fun.
BumbleKing.com.
But
it's over there.
But I was going off of memory, which is why my stories revolve around Starscream, which everybody remembers, and like the Dinobots, because we had their debut episode on VHS, and we watched that thing till that magnetic charge started to run out on the ribbon. Like I can quote that freaking movie. And that's pretty much it. Everything else, I had to do like a deep dive into the wikis and really study up. So if I were to do a Sonic Transformers crossover, it would need serious research. I can't really spoof that off the top of my head.
Well, I do like the Tails and Windblade meetup. That makes sense. But yeah,
I mean, all I know is that for the covers, you'd have to have one of Optimus Prime barreling down the street SA2 style after Sonic. And you'd need a spoof cover of the Shadow the Hedgehog box art, but he's wielding Megatron. That's the best I got off the top of my head.
I think those are requirements. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. It's yeah. Here's one from Alex R. All right, Ian, enough foolishness. What's Cream's father's name, and why hasn't he returned from getting milk at the store?
Well, first he has to go find Froggy.
Froggy. Wait, no, that's the implications of that are weird. No.
That's your deep dive. Sonic Heroes was just a lovely father-daughter outing.
No.
With Amy along.
No.
The look on Victor's face when he solves that mystery.
Terrible. Just terrible. Here's a super chat question from Lord Van Oscaro. Are there any animals you cannot use for Mobians in IDW?
Generally, do not take this as word of God, but the general guidelines are they prefer we use small to medium-sized mammals. Insects are largely no-go. Aquatic life is largely a no-go. Birds are kind of iffy. Reptiles in general are kind of iffy. And anything that just wouldn't translate to the Sonic style very well is generally not smiled upon. So like we said earlier, horses, giraffes, elephants, like that stuff, most likely not. Jewel and Mimic are the exceptions that kind of prove the rule. Will this stay, the rule forever and ever? Who knows? Like I said, again, Jewel and Mimic got in, and they typically should not. So we'll just have to see how it goes as time goes on.
Alrighty, here's a super chat from Jams. Was the robotic abominations line in the new Tales tube in reference to IDW's Battle on Angel Island arc?
You could read it that way, or you could read it as Mecha Sonic trying to steal it in the end of Knuckles' story in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You could read it as Heavy King trying to steal it in Mania.
There have
You could read it
been
as
many
Metals.
robotic abominations.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Mr. Krabs. Here's a funny idea. The Chaotix and Grunkle Stan team up to plan out a huge scheme to get a lot of cash for themselves, only for it to fail. What would their plan be, and how will it fail?
Here's the thing: the Chaotix aren't going to do anything illegal.
What?
Like, Vector might be on board for a kind of get rich quick scheme, but as long as it's above board, as long as they're not using any loopholes.
I assume Vector was a habitual tax fraudster.
Absolutely not, sir. Yeah, he's going to itemize every single staple and paperclip he's used, but he's got the receipts. He absolutely has the receipts. Do you want to see the receipts? He's got them right here in this binder.
All right, well, if you say so.
But the minute Grunkle Stan starts to step out of line and is actively conning people, then the Chaotix are going to put their foot down and say, no, you can't do that. And that will lead to conflict and chicanery or shenanigans, whichever one I decide to say. As I fumble my own tongue.
Oh, well, it happens. Dang it. Getting a lot of phlegm. Phlegm. I was going to say Vector can't get rich quick anyway because there's no money. Here's a question from Chaos Sonic 1. Since someone in SEGA that know about the Shadow problem are there, attempts to fix it, or will Shadow stay as Diet Vegeta and not the fun type of diet?
I am not remotely going to talk about inner SEGA office talks or workings. That is a surefire way to never get work from them ever again.
And we got another one from Chaos Sonic 1 here. 3 in a row, apparently. If you got the chance to make the Shadow androids from the 2-player mode as characters, would you get the chance and figure out how?
Maybe. I feel like there is some narrative meat there for something that is a creation off of the original and very clearly a derivative being. We are already kind of toying with that with Surge though, and Metal Sonic sort of deals with that as well. So I don't know how we would do that without it being kind of redundant to them. But I feel like that would be the immediate obvious way to go. You could also say that the Shadow Android could maybe see itself as Shadow distilled and perfected. It will be the, you know, ultimate life form. But that's also kind of echoing Metal Sonic. So I don't know.
And the third question in a row from Chaos Sonic 1 here, Super Chat. Since we never got to see this in the pre-reboot, who would win since DBZ references and all? Shadow versus Monkey Kong. Who would win?
Shadow.
Monkey Kong's kind of a
I mean,
jobber.
Monkey Kong would put up a fight. There'd be one satisfying moment where he just like add a bat's Shadow out of a spin dash and straight into the ground. But then one Shadow realizes, oh, hey, I actually have to try against this guy. Yeah, Khan's going to get put in the ground, and he may not get back up.
Khan's a jobber. He's a strong jobber, but he's still a jobber.
Yeah.
Yeah, ultimately.
It'd be fun, though. There'd be a lot of, pyrotechnics going along, lots of lightning being thrown around, big power level flexes, but Shadow for sure.
And we have a super chat from Tiger ZGX. As you are fans of Mega Man, I'm curious, do you also follow the Azure Striker Gunvolt series of games and media, and what might be your thoughts on it?
I have not. Largely because I don't have time to follow the stuff I already know I like. Branching out has been difficult for me, but that's not a knock against the series. I just haven't gotten into it.
They're pretty cool. I like them. I'm mostly familiar with the Mighty Gunvolt games, so those are pretty neat. Have not been able to delve into the main Azure series yet, but I would like to. And they very much appeal to me, being side-scrolling 2D Mega Man-esque platformers created by Inti Creates. So, yeah, I'm down. Just haven't had the chance to yet. But Mighty Gunvolt's fun. That's more of a classic Mega Man style game, while Azure Striker Gunvolt is more in the vein of like Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero. So, good stuff. All right, we're going to jump back to some standard questions for a bit. Starting off this one from Shonen Boys. Hey Ian, how did it feel writing for Dr. Wily in the Mega Man comics compared to Eggman? I really love the amount of depth you gave to Wily, like when he got mad at Eggman for trying to kill Dr. Light.
Wily is a lot of fun. I feel like he's deeper than Egg.
He is a fairly complex character for what he is, and for the series he's in. It's like, yeah, there's a bit more nuance to him than I think. There's a bit more nuance to most Mega Man characters that I don't think they get enough credit for because it's not really prominent in most of the games. But so,
and just investigating his relationship beyond his eternal struggle with Mega Man, but especially him and Light was fascinating. That was a lot of fun. I really miss Wily. He's a good fun. He's got the same bombastic showmanship that Eggman has, but he has a crumb of a soul still. The carnage and terror that he unleashes is accidental more than anything else. It's not. I mean, he does. He does cause trouble. He does cause mayhem. He knows what he's doing is wrong in principle, but he doesn't mean to cause harm, I think, is the big distinction. Eggman doesn't care. If there's collateral damage, the more the merrier. If Wily found out that he actively like hurt people with his robots, he might actually stay up at night going, maybe I should pull my punches a little bit.
Yeah. This was not what I intended. This is going too far. Yeah, he actually has like a moral compass almost.
A little bit. He's still human.
Yes, ultimately. Eggman is just an egg as personified. Personified egg. Evil egg, specifically. He's a bad egg. And we got a question here from BunnyBell3. Hi there. In honor of the Sonic CD anniversary, what's your favorite Sonic CD track?
Oh shoot.
There's a lot to choose from. Japanese or US or both.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's
And I'm not
it's
as familiar
hard
with the
because they're
translation.
all
Do you have
good. They're all so good. Like they're in a stinker among them, but God, present title Tempest.
Starway Speed
Huh?
Bad. Starway Speedway Bad is pretty darn good.
I mean,
US, I guess.
yeah. I mean, both of them though.
Yeah. What's the one that goes zabba dee
That
zab zabba
is
dee?
yes, that is title Tempest present US, and
Okay.
that is a fantastic track. I love that one too.
That's just that you just groove to that one, you know?
Uh-huh.
You kind of forget you're in yet another awful water stage. You're just like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
dig this."
Yeah, yeah. The Japanese version's all right too, but I think I definitely prefer the US version in that case. I do like those vocals. Not actual vocals though. They're just, mouth sounds. That's okay. uh hmm. Well, I can tell you a track from it that I hate. The US
Really?
boss theme.
Because it's so oppressive?
Yes. And that stupid laugh.
See, I kinda like it because it is all that.
I
Like,
kn-
it's
I suppose it has it's a good like it's thematically appropriate. It definitely sounds like, ominous, and it's good
it does
boss
put you
music.
on edge.
It's good boss music, but I don't want to I don't want to listen to it outside of that.
That's true. Like, the other boss tracks out of the other games
Yeah.
are much more peppy, they're fun,
And the Japanese boss theme. It's weird, but it's good.
and
It has like a whole freaking like monologue in it. But I can barely hear it. I don't know what's going on in it, but it's weird, but it's definitely better than gave me nightmares as a kid. Metallic Madness Japanese version. It's remixed in Sonic Mania, and it is God, that track is way better than I think it gets. It doesn't get recognized so much, and it should because it's damn good. Uh, hmm. Quartz Quadrant, U.S. present and past. God, so many good tracks in that freaking game, man. What's my favorite? Yes. All of them. Almost all of them, anyway. And we got a question here from Smash Zapper 85. Are there any mandates on using the soul dimension? It's a bit disappointing to me how there doesn't seem to be much interest in expanding on it.
no, if anything, they were surprisingly receptive, like, when we showed Blaze's Palace. That had never been established before, and we asked specifically, "Is there any unused concept art? Is there anything that we can do, you know, to be in line with the concept?" And they didn't have art specifically, but they did have design notes and technology levels and general themes to follow. And so we designed it off of that. And as far as I know, that's kind of the working concept for it now. Maybe.
Cool.
The thing with the soul dimension is that it's just really hard to get to. You can only get there via the soul emeralds, and those are only held by Blaze. So, to bring anyone there, you have to have, a bit of a circumstance. Blaze has to ferry people over. There's Sonic Rush Adventure where it was, you know, vague how it happened, but I think ultimately it's kind of implied that the emeralds worked together, maybe question mark.
And then the
So,
warp topaz just
it's
kind of
really hard
The warp topaz blasted Sonic into the soul
with
dimension,
a
right? Technically,
with it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't just warp topaz, it was warp topaz with supersonic charge to it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
getting there it's the same issue with Angel Island multiplied by 10.
Yeah.
You know, Angel Island is hard to get to, but at least it's on the same planet in the same dimension. Blaze's world is a lot harder to get to, and that's unfortunate because, oh man, whole other world to explore and expand and build upon.
Getting Knuckles off that rock and Blaze out of that stupid dimension.
Watch. The island's going to get beamed over to the soul dimension. Makes them both harder to get to.
Don't do this to us, Ian. Don't. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you dare. Here's a question from Gaming Mania. Who would win out of all of Eggman's lackeys? Well, hey, we got a fun fact. Someone asked a question almost identical to this one that will be in a priority episode airing this coming week. So look forward to that. So there you go, Ian. You don't have to answer that one. I did it for you.
Yeah, running interference on that one.
I was like, hey, we already did this one. MT32 Boy has a question. Hey, Ian, did you have anything to do with Sonic Prime's writing?
Because of Netflix and how they handle things, I can't talk about it right now.
Alrighty. Here's a question from Blue Dragon. Why Shadow don't take his limiters off now? Kinda sure he would have beaten Infinite without them.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a thing now, I guess.
That's the best I got for you. I don't know. Why does character not use character trait? I don't know.
I don't know. Nintendo Dweeb has a question. A lot of Sonic lore has been adjusted and solidified recently, so is there any chance the moon might turn back around so we can see its blown up side? I think it would look very cool.
Maybe. Maybe.
And we get a question from Tony C. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Any thoughts about it? IDW has done references to it.
They have, but they were not written by me. I have yet to. The most I know about it are Team 4 Stars, like X thing in X minutes parody synopses, and I don't believe that is a accurate understanding of the show. So I'm not. Oh God. I'm not saying that they did an inaccurate representation. I'm saying that I can't base my opinion on what is clearly a parody summation. So it's on the list of things to watch and read. I'll get to it eventually.
Maybe. Here's a question from Jeffrey St. John. How are you two doing? My question today, have any of you watched King of the Hill? If so, got any scenes that you thought were the funniest? That's 2 questions, sir.
I watched a little bit of it. It mostly wasn't my style of humor.
Man, I love King of the Hill.
I do remember there was one episode where Hank finally realizes that Bobby's being more or less abused by an idiot manager.
Yeah.
And just goes on the warpath, chasing him across a active NASCAR race scene track.
Yeah.
And just, the normal super sedate Hank going, oh, which is about as angry as he can sound. That's funny.
Yeah. Hank is a likable guy. He's trying. He's really trying. I appreciate that, you know?
What and Dale, when he thinks he has rabies, he's trying to steal the pie. Ow, hot.
Oh man. The one where they blow up a Walmart, basically. It's like, this is almost a Simpsons plot, but I like it.
I forget the setup for it, but Dale says, "You know what that stands for? Fix it again, Tony." Damn it, Dale, that's a Fiat.
Yeah. Oh man. It's a fun show. It's fun. I like it.
I know enough of the memes, I guess. There was
Yeah.
in Splatoon 3, there was a banner and somebody had drawn Bobby as an inkling screaming, "That's my turf. I don't know you."
It's all toilet sounds. That was a good one. It's a good one. Good one, good one. Oh man. Well, let's go ahead and move on. We got a lot of questions, so let's try and crank through as many of them as we can. Here's one from Yes. What kind of robot would Bulma, Eggman, and Tails do if they worked together on the same thing?
Oh my goodness.
I think it would
Bulbous, to be
be
sure.
some kind of nightmare creature.
I mean, you look at all the rounded designs in Capsule Core tech and how rounded a lot of Eggman's larger tech is. Tails is going to get overruled on this. Can we maybe put an edge on it somewhere? No. Lots of transforming limbs. They all love the transforming limbs. Lots of flight capability and various modes of transport. Eggman and Tails are both very impressed with the compression technology to put it in a capsule. They'd actually get along very well during the whole process until Eggman steals it.
And uses it for evil, of course.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. And we got a standard question here from Pyro Studios. Hey, Ian and Kyle, based on what we've heard, what do you prefer, Vandalize or I'm Here?
I think I liked Vandalize better myself.
I have only heard Vandalize, so I guess I like that one by default.
They're both worth a listen, to be sure.
Yeah.
I think Vandalize, I feel like, is more the type of tune I'd put on loop.
Yeah, I like it. There's already covers of it out there too. Didn't waste any time. Already people remixing it and covering it. And we're going to do one last standard question over here before we jump back to the super chats for a bit. And this one comes to us from Creative Cavi. Can you treat my brain fog, BumbleDocs? I can't think of a single question. Oh.
I am trying my darndest to get through my own.
I'm in a permanent state of brain fog, so don't look to me for medical help.
This is the blind leading the blind. There is no one manning the lighthouse. We are all headed for the rocks together. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, we tried. All right, back to the super chats for a bit. We got 20 minutes left of the show, so I'm going to go ahead and say closing super chats now. So no more questions for today. Thank you, everybody, for submitting. And if you do end up submitting any super chats after this, then we will go ahead and push them off to a future priority episode. But yeah, otherwise we're going to say, no, don't send us anymore. We appreciate it, but don't send us anymore. So no more questions. We're going to power through as many as we can in the last 20 minutes here. So here's one from Chaos Sonic 1. SEGA does know that 6 was part of the main cast for a while, right?
In Boom.
In one incarnation. Yeah. Yep, that's the distinction.
Yes, she's shown up in the Olympic Games. Yes, there was that bit of promotional material from years back, but Sonic Channel has not carried enough weight.
The Sonic Channel story, which is like, I mean, come on. guys. It's literally right there. JJ Slider is here with a super chat question. Can dreams in Game Sonic encompass any size, scope, range, or concept the dreamer can think up if perceived accurately? Does Imaginary World contain a spot for each individual dreamer? Does Imaginary World hold every single dream?
I think so.
Sure.
I mean, Imaginary World and its limitations are not very well explored, but I would think it covers all those bases.
However it works in Knights is probably how it would work in Sonic.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. And we got another super chat from OzJam H. How do you feel about characters resetting in stories, basically forgetting the lesson of the day until another episode covers it again, not counting mascot characters like Sonic?
If we're talking like an episodic series that
That
it
resets every
depends.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, like if the series itself is episodic by nature, then that's fine. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
If there is some kind of continuity, if there is some form of progression, then that rankles me a bit because there's clearly some forward movement. Why isn't everything moving? You know?
Mm-hmm.
If the lesson has to be learned again from a different perspective, or it's built on the idea of this is the consequence of not learning from the mistake, that's one thing. If it's we have a progressive narrative but the characters themselves are in a steady state, that's annoying.
Could be like Animaniacs, you know? Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. Hey, we win $1,000. It's not a moral lesson. And
Early to rise and early to bed makes a man healthy but socially dead.
Here is a super chat from J Chance. Do you think Amy would get an IDW miniseries? And what would you want to explore in it if so?
I mean, she could.
She
I
should.
don't know. Well, it should, I guess, is the more apt word. I don't know if there's the demand for it. You would think there'd be. I don't know. That's kind of a editorial SEGA decision on what they want to pull the trigger on and what kind of time they want to invest in it. If that were the case, I'd like to see Amy kind of break out of the standard and go on her own adventure. Give her something that's wholly her. Maybe have Cream involved because I feel like they make a good duo. Maybe somebody else, but give her a thing to accomplish. Give her a rival or adversary that's for her. Build the story around her abilities and her character so that she can really shine.
Alrighty. Here's one from Lucas S. The IDW comics is in its own canon, a wonderful one, I have to say, but can we consider its elements and characters' feats canon to the game's lore?
Oh, how much can I say about this?
I think that speaks volumes right there.
The comics are definitely influenced by game events. And you might see some comic elements cross-pollinate. But the two are still largely independent.
Alrighty. Here's a super chat from Joe M. Thank you. Thank you to everybody for sending these in. I understand Sonic doesn't believe in imprisoning or killing enemies, but since he has kind of done that sometimes, where's the drawn? Where's the line? I assume that's what they mean. He kills several monsters, imprisoned Eraser, and other things I forget, etc.
The line is drawn wherever Sega decides to draw it this particular generation.
And the particular time you happen to be writing it and who happens to be approving it and all sorts of fun stuff. Yay!
You will always
Consistency.
find an exception in this franchise.
Ah, many exceptions. Also, we have a super chat from Jen, but she didn't send anything. She just put it in here. Oh, how rude. How rude. Says, happy birthday to Mitchell Hancock.
Yes, happy birthday, Mitchell.
Happy birthday, Mitchell.
Missed you
Happy
one.
birthday, Mitchell.
Happy birthday, Mitchell. And our last super chat question for today is from Rhythm Raccoon. Where?
There.
Over there.
Mm-hmm.
Under there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's it. That's it. That's all we got. There. 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 Super there. Okay. We have 15 minutes left, so let's crank through some standard questions for a while. Without a Plan asks, I know you're not too familiar with Sonic the Comic, but which characters would you like to tackle from Sonic the Comic? If it's easier, choose one freedom fighter and villain to reinvent.
I don't know. Can I do a Captain Plunder spin-off book? Like, it doesn't even have to be Sonic related. Can I just do Captain Plunder and his crazy adventures? Because from what little I remember, Captain Plunder didn't really feel like he fit into Sonic, but he was just great on his own. And I feel like there were like a couple of standalone Plunder stories. And I'm like, yeah, give Plunder his own book. Forget Sonic. Let's go sailing. But beyond that, hero characters, maybe Techno. She's the one who kind of like pops out in my mind design wise more than anything else. Nothing against Johnny or Porker. It's just neither of them really like stand out to me. I don't really remember anything truly iconic about them other than one of them dies. I can't remember which one. Villains, I mean, Grimer seems like the easy choice because, Eggman Lackey that kind of goes in his own direction is an easy sell, but we've seen a lot of those. So maybe Dr. Zachary. Can never go wrong with your evil cyborg albino echidnas.
He's you've always brought up the Brotherhood of Metallics before, so
Yeah, but that's a whole group, and that all hinges on Metal Sonic, who's already there. It's a very different incarnation, sure, but yeah, Brotherhood of Metallics. Just what a freaking metal name, dude.
I mean, it's literally got metal in it. Yeah, so yeah. Very metal.
Oh, hey, there's Little Planet back. Oh, wait, it's Metal Sonic's head. Why? Because a giant red god master mold Metal Sonic has made an entire army of them.
Oh, no. But also, oh, yes. And we have a question here from Qatar Station. Qatar Station. Sorry, I think I mispronounced that. If you could make a Surgeon Kit versions for Amy and Cream, what would their powers or personalities be like?
Okay, Amy. Let's see. So Surge is built to be the quintessential Sonic while also missing the point. So it's all the power and all the attitude, but none of the heroism and selflessness. So if that is our basis, Amy is the unflinching support to that, and with an absolute ride or die affection. So we have the ultimate fanboy who is just like suicidally obsessed with Surge. Kit doesn't like him at all. because he's horning in on his turf, man. He's the support unit. What are you doing? Back off. And, maybe lean into all the bad faith takes on Amy over the years and just have him be all the hyperbole, the bipolar, hyper violent, but also completely putty in her hands. Just obnoxious, clingy, stalker, totally devoted character. God, he's gross already. I hate him. So Cream, by that extension, for a time she was kind of the temperate foil to Amy, where Amy was very, vivacious, get out, go get them. Cream was like, let's, remember that we're, lovely little ladies here, Amy. There's decorum. Let's please not hit them. Let's be nice. So this would be the naggy little brother, let's say. This guy is so much built on extremes. This is like the gyroscope character to keep them at least somewhat on target. And they're going to be, and he's going to have a chow of their own because, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And those I know are going to be named Soda and Crackers.
Nice. All right, we're going to switch back real quick because we missed a super chat question from Pedanticat. So,
oh no.
Yep, we missed one. They asked it earlier and we got lost. So we're going to jump over there to that one real quick. How would you do a Chaotix and Scooby-Doo team up? You broke him.
Oh, wow. That's going to be fun. Like, I mean, the gang inevitably splits up.
Oh, of course.
But unfortunately, the Chaotix would potentially go off on their own as a unit. So we can't have that. Absolutely not. The guest characters, they'd have to go with Shaggy and Scooby because that's where all the fun is. Let's see. I mean, Vector will do just about anything for a Scooby snack. Do you remember the last time he ate? He doesn't. The premise gets cut a little short though, because when the ghost or pirate or robot or whatever shows up to scare the kids off of the dilapidated property, the cat just beat the crap out of him. Zoinks! It's a ghost. Don't worry, we got him. Take him down, boys. And so they unmask him with the first confrontation. It's like, wow, it's the fastest we've ever solved the case, gang.
Nice. That would be fun. Be perfect. All right, and we got this question here from Polaris. How do you feel about Swifty the Shrew from the Boom Show? I like the idea of a Sonic rival that competed with Sonic's attitude more and used its status as a generic badnik to keep up the speed.
Yeah, he was fine for filling the tropes.
Sure.
That's about it. I don't have a strong opinion on him one way or the other.
I'm having to Google him because I don't even remember. Okay, that guy. All right. All right, gotcha. Yeah, he's fine. Here's one from Kasai T. Sorry again for more trouble, but I have another question for Ruff and Tumble. Does Ruff practice his stink bomber or other stinky techniques? And if so, what does Tumble think of it?
I don't think he needs to practice. That kind of nastiness just comes natural. That, and it would require, training would require work and discipline, and nah, that ain't their style.
Nope. We got a question from Yo. Chi-Chi versus Amy.
Amy with hammer or without hammer?
Does that change the outcome?
It does, because Chi-Chi got pretty far in, I forget which Budokai it was, but she's an accomplished martial artist on her own. She's no slouch.
Mm-hmm.
And as much of a homemaker as she became in Z, I would like to think that she maintained her training to a degree. I hate the idea that she just went full domestic. I mean, come on. The whole reason why she fought as hard as she could is so she could get up to Goku to, confront him about it. So please, Chi-Chi, please still be able to do what you can do. And Amy without her hammer, I don't know if she has the strength and resilience to handle a trained martial artist like that. With the hammer, though, she's able to accomplish some serious feats of strength and acrobatics. So in that case, it might come down to whoever lands a solid blow first. Because one wob from the hammer and Chi-Chi's we're going to go by Budokai rules here just to keep an even playing field. One hit from the hammer, and I'm pretty sure Chi-Chi's going to get a ring out. But, if Chi-Chi's able to get in and get a solid hit, she might be able to down Amy. I don't know. That's closer than a lot of these Dragon Ball fights would be.
Yeah, they're almost on a level playing field. Almost. Except for the ridiculously overpowered hammer. But, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Papedo Chisps. What if Surge became a streamer? What kind of games would she play, and how many keyboards and monitors would she break per week?
She'd just grief Fortnite 24/7.
I want to see this. No, she'd
specifically going after the new players.
She'd play a lot of shooters, I think. She'd probably rotate, but she's like a camper and just annoying.
She's absolutely griefing the entire time. But the minute she gets, a taste of her own medicine, she rages and electrocutes the computer and fries the entire rig and has to replace it. So once a stream.
Kit's just in the background constantly building new computers for her to just
you can see him in the background. He's already got the next one coming along.
Yeah, exactly. You watch him in the background building and building and building and building. And luckily he was smart enough to put the streaming computer in another room completely so she doesn't destroy that too. So the stream can at least keep going even after she destroys the computer.
Like the streaming room is on its own unique circuit. The rest of the house is wired differently.
Yes, of course. Yep. Perfect. That would be funny. All right, we got 3 minutes left, Ian. We're going to keep on rolling here, though. Here's one from Mr. RD. Have you ever thought of bringing back the SCR line of robots from Sonic Riders, Zero Gravity, or the game's main villain, SCR HD?
Nah, not really. I mean, they got kind of a neat design, but they lack personality. And the main one, I'm pretty sure, got blown up at the end of the game. But I don't know, blowing up robots seems to not really be a death sentence anymore. So what do I know?
And we got a question from Bro. What if Infinite used the Phantom Ruby?
He did a lot in the game. That was his gimmick.
I was gonna say, wait, what? Did you mean the Warp Topaz? Did you mean to say Phantom Ruby? Did you mean that? I don't know. Confused. All right. Well, we have a couple minutes left, and we have one extra super chat that came in after the last one. So I don't want to forget about it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out here right now, get it answered, so I don't have to think about it. Just in case, because, yeah, I forget things sometimes. So we'll count this as the last question from JJ Slider. How does Chaotix's Team Blast work? It destroys enemies and leaves rings behind. So does the move turn enemies into rings? Or are those robot wallets left after their destruction?
Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is always yes. Specifically roundabout by yes.
Their music is so moving that the gods intervene, and just to please make them stop, here's some money. Okay, we transmuted things into money. Will you stop with the noise? Your music is that transcendent. Nature itself just wants you to stop.
It's like Wild Stallions in Bill and Ted, you know? Their music is so amazing. Oh, man. Well, that's it. That's all we got for this week, for this month. If you didn't hear your question answered, I'm sorry. We will try and get to them as soon as possible on the on future episodes. So, but thank you everybody for answering or for asking so many questions, and for your super chats. Very much appreciated. And
as always, if you want your question answered sooner rather than later, you can become a priority Patreon over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, submitted through Ko-fi at kofi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member.
Yep. And also, if you send us enough Ko-fis for $25 that to cover the price of a BumbleKast mini, then you can do it that way as well. You don't have to be a $25 patron to do that if you just want to do it one time. So that's also an option for you. So I know that some people were asking about that earlier. So just to put that out there.
Don't forget to check out the Ko-fi shop. That's kofi.com/BumbleKast/store. Get yourself a set of BumbleKast dice. We also have a fair amount of merch, which I think should be listed here in the live stream stuff, but it's also over at bumbleking.com. Under the shops tab, you can find yourself a whole slew of BumbleKast merch or signed books over at the Bumble Comics shop.
Alrighty. That'll do it, I suppose.
That's going to wrap us up. Thank you again, everyone, especially those who support the show. And we will see you Monday for more BumbleKast. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Have a good night.
See you guys later.